I wonder if all of that chatting gets put into the thing. I don't know. I never know when YouTube puts us live from our pre-buffer roll.
Yeah, I know.
Never.
It's glorious.
Never.
It's our favorite part. Everyone gets to capture these cool little like pre-chats.
Who knows?
And they're just like, will these two idiots shut up and just show me the card?
Yeah.
So I'm just here for the card, man. Give me the card.
Give me the goods and get out. Guys, we've been rolling, I think, for at least 17 seconds, so we probably kept you in suspense long enough. You're here for one reason and one reason only. We've got... Okay, so let's welcome to Bad Publicity.
Hey, welcome.
Hey, it's probably your first time here, probably your last time here until you get that card spoilers. You're only coming for the goods. So we did get a card spoiler today. We are kicking off spoiler season, the spoiler quarantine lockdown edition. I encourage you to go to the Discord. There's a lot of content creators out there that have been given spoilers for the Hulk pack, so go out and make sure you're grabbing all of them. Corey, we've got one a day. I think you saw the list almost, right?
I think it's a little bit more. I think we're like the first, and then there are a couple of days where there's a handful of people doing it, but it's kind of spread out throughout the week. So I don't have it memorized, but it's on the Discord with the content creators and the dates that they're going to be previewing their spoilers, so check it out.
So you definitely want to go and look at what is in store from that perspective. We're going to fire up right here our Hulk Avenger card, just so you can see, because our spoiler references the stats on this card. So we just want to do a refresher and try and, we're not going to try and keep you here as long as possible. It is the next card, so just bear with us. We're trying to do a show here.
Yeah. Just trying to entertain. Yeah. So I'll do a quick rundown of Hulk. The main thing that we just want to show is just to focus on his skill set. So he's 0 thwart, 3 attack, 3 defense, and his enrage, force interrupt. When your turn ends, you discard your hand. We got it. We know he's a powerhouse. We know he's coming out swinging, laying down the pain, and that 3 attack stat is quite important because it has to do with the card that we're spoiling.
Wow, you just burned through that, eh? You've been burned too many by YouTube draggers
hey,
on, eh?
I know what the people want.
Yeah.
They don't want it. So.
All right, let's get to it. Here it is. This is what, hot off the presses. There's only a few people that have seen this. Thank you to those people who tuned in live. Here we go. We've given people the 5-minute buffer to join. We said we're going live at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Here we go. This is it. Hulk card, get out the way. Spoiler. There it is. Look at that high res. That's the best. That's the best thing we've ever had. Thank you, Evan, for hooking us up with this spoiler right off the bat. This is the crushing blow. This is a 1-cost event that is an attack sub-trait. You can only spend physical resources to pay for this card. Now, this is a hero action, which is an attack. Deal damage to an enemy equal to your attack. So like we said before, Hulk has a base of 3. Now we will get into ways that we can off the top, some ways that you can buff it, some really good ways, and some stretches. But again, hey, as somebody once told me, we're trying to fill quota, and we're trying to make an episode out of one card here. So thanks for hanging out, right?
So I guess like initial reaction when you first see this, you might be like, oh, 1 cost, 3 attack. That's okay. 1 cost 3, that's a good rate. And you can pick any target. That's pretty sweet. But as you'll see, as you look at other cards that have already been shown with Hulk and some other things we're going to talk about, there's ways that you can get the rate of this card to be a pretty solid return for only a 1 resource investment.
Yeah, so I think it's so there are some things to talk about, and we're going to guess. We are kicking off spoiler season, so we haven't seen the rest of the cards to keep it fun and exciting as we get in. Whoever takes our last spoiler slot from the creator community is going to be able to piece a lot of this together. But for us, if you notice down in the bottom corner, this is Hulk 1 of 15. The official Fantasy Flight spoilers, when they started at 3. So we are thinking this cutesy little event, you're probably going to get 2 copies of it. We're guessing that this is not super powered enough because of the expansion of what you're doing to get it to be such a powerful effect. We think it's going to be Hulk cards 1 and 2. So you should probably see 2 of them. It is a physical resource. Again, remember, all of Hulk's cards are physical resources in the pack, except 1. And I believe that was the stuff that was talked about by Boggs. Michael Boggs was the designer of the Hulk set. And he was going to be on tonight's show with us, but some stuff came up and he did have to pull out.
Hey,
to get
we still love you.
We still love him. But he will be on. He's linking up with us on a different Tuesday. Subscribe to find out. So, Crushing Blow, we do think there's 2 copies. This is number 1. So, you can only spend physical resources to pay for this card. Corey, is that a problem in Hulk?
Not really. I mean, your odds are you're probably going to build him aggression anyway. And so as Jameson already mentioned, probably 14 of his 15 cards all have physical resources on it. So should be a very easy cost requirement for you to take care of.
Yeah. So let's get into look at a card that has been spoiled before that is a way to be able to get through and buff this. This is the Boundless Rage. Corey, what can we do with this here?
So 1 cost upgrade, hero form only. Hulk gets +1 attack, and then after you change form, you discard this card. But it's an easy 1 drop to kind of go ahead and suit you with the +1 attack stat. So then, if you're looking back at the spoiled card, you're doing a 1 for 4 conversion rate, with this being set up and already loaded onto your hero. Ooh, we got some comments in chat.
Yeah, just. Late joiners there. So yeah, this is definitely a way to buff up his attack and go through there. This one was already spoiled, and I guess that's pretty much we're just going to go through and talk about.
Yeah, we can just burn through them to show some cool ideas. So, and that's already loaded into his base 15, so that's easy, right? There's already a good card that buffs off of that loaded in the Hulk pack, so good start already.
Yeah, and it is something to keep in mind of, our spoiler here, Crushing Blow, is a 1-cost event. It does need the physical resource, because Hulk's hand size, you might remember if we go back, his hand size is only dealing with his 4. Now we don't know if there's going to be ways inside of Hulk to move that number up, move that number down, but you want to see cheap events. So that card, Crushing Blow, this could be your bread and butter.
Right.
Attacks, right?
Your main card to bring him to Pound Town.
Yeah, right. Because
go wailing on the villains.
Right, so from this perspective here, again, Boundless Rage you're seeing 1 cost, so you got to keep things cheap in the Hulk, right? Dumb it down for them and just go to town. Now, as Corey mentioned off the top, you're probably going to be
aggression,
playing an aggression Hulk build. So inside aggression, Corey, what do we have here?
We have combat training, which is a 2-cost upgrade that can play on any hero, and it gives you a permanent +1 attack. So this is solid in comparison with Boundless Rage because it doesn't discard itself like Boundless Rage can if you have to switch forms. But you can have these stack. So if you get the moment where you get both of those out, oh, looky here, Hulk's up to a 5 attack, which means your Crushing Blows are a 1 for 5 damage. So, and that's not a crazy stretch. Like, that's all cards that you can probably have in your base Hulk builds to a state that's probably pretty easy to get up to throughout the course of a game. So your conversion rate on that card is getting better and better.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a standard in any Hulk build here. What happened there? I don't know. So from that perspective, like Corey said, these are going to stack to give you those bonus attack values. You know, get as many combat. Take the max combat trainings you can put in there, and just go to town on those, because those are upgrades that, although they could potentially be expensive in the Hulk, since it could be half your hand size to pay for this card, plus the card itself giving you only room for one more, but the value that you're going to get building up his attack, building his strength. Remember, if it's very thematic in the Hulk, right, the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. So there should be ways to keep boosting that attack value that maybe we haven't seen yet, but when you pair it with an aspect, there you go. These last ones are the ones that we're talking about. They're the left field ones. These are the ones that could be out of your control.
Yeah, this is more to deal with team composition. So as you're making your teams that go into your scenarios, if you have someone who's playing leadership, we called out 2 solid leadership cards that can really buff and help strengthen the ability of the crushing blow. So yeah, Jameson, you want to throw this out?
Well, also Andrew just mentioned in the chat too, as I'm catching up, there might be more than one copy of Boundless Rage. We don't know.
Oh, that's true.
We don't know that as well, right? So
yeah, and that just gets easier. And considering the Boundless Rage discards itself, I could think of it being like She-Hulk has her upgrade. I believe there's 2 copies in her deck. It's a similar type effect. So it would make sense for the Hulk to have 2.
Yeah, Alan in chat was also saying, shout out to Alan's for calling that out. He calls it, it was 1-2 punch in the She-Hulk deck. This is better, though, since you don't have to attack first. Right? And Corey, obviously, it's not like we're schooling a She-Hulk player here. You know that already, so...
She's fun.
Yeah. And then Alan also says 15 or more damage possible in one turn if you have 2 crushing blows in hand. So
that's sweet. Definitely.
That definitely could help out in those big games, right?
And again, especially since you mentioned with the small hand size and the fact that you're buying these pretty much for like a 1 resource rate, to keep that cheap to be able to put out that much damage outputs, which you definitely need like for Hulk.
Yeah. So these next 2 ones where we talk about a little bit more of a stretch, because they're gonna take into account player composition. This is not for solo gaming. This is everything we talked about so far is what you can do solo. All right, because you're building an aggression Hulk or the cards inside the Hulk piece. This next one here gets a little bit fuzzy because it is lead from the front. So we're hoping that maybe you've got a Captain America kind of,
or Captain Marvel
leadership build, whatever you're kind of rocking there. But lead from the front is a 2-cost event. You don't have to worry about the cost because, like I said, someone else is playing it. But it's a hero action. Choose a player. So that player would have to obviously choose you. Choose your character. Each character that player controls gets +1 thwart. Who cares about the thwart? And +1 attack until the end of the phase. So this is a little bit of a boost up. And then hopefully, you're communicating with that player across the way and saying, listen, you give me that attack boost. I've got some other boosts on me already. I'm just ready to go to town. So this is just a way to get an extra help from a friend. And to get some more mileage off of that.
Get some more mileage off of that ability. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which is essentially what we want to drive, right? You want the most value for your hand. Hulk, I think, is going to need that extra help as potentially that support character, right? Where you're there just to do the beating down, right? Obviously, you're not coming in to thwart, right? You're not coming in to apply support or to aid your other players at the table, other than just to be that physical tank that is doing damage. So
You're just there to apply fists to face, and that's what your main game goal is.
Right.
As many fists as there are faces.
So if everything is lined up properly for you, and you can really take advantage of, like Corey said, the situation, maybe somebody can lead from the front, and everyone can just get behind the Hulk, and he can just push his way in there.
Yeah, and then another card that we saw that could also buff that attack stat, if you have another leadership player, if you look at a card like Avengers Assemble. So if that person on their turn, if they're going before the Hulk, they could put some damage in, play it, ready each Avenger. Hulk is an Avenger, so he would benefit from the stat increase, which is each Avenger character in play gets +1 thwart and +1 attack. So that's an expensive card. That's probably going to be a very rare chance that comes up and buffs you. But just so you're aware of just some of the things that can increase that attack stat to get you some more mileage out of the crushing blow.
Yeah, this one is a little further. This is probably the farthest outside the scope
that's right.
that we're talking about. But I think that Avengers Assemble is a card that you're going to see. Like, keep this one in mind, because as we get the hero base expands, and we get all of these players, and we're gearing up for these mega games of totally Avengers Assemble. There's even cards out there that can give the Avenger trait, right? So if you're playing in a large group, this card, I've seen it where it can really swing the game, getting everybody back, or getting characters back that you need back that had to exhaust because of what other reason or another. They weren't ready for that final push.
Yeah. Between like obligation or a treachery card exhausts them before they have to turn around to the hero phase. So there's definitely some utility there. That's not, it's probably the hardest to pull off, but it's not a stretch that you would ever see that card get played.
Yeah. So like we said, off the top, let's go back and take another look at it for the people that were here. Crazy art.
That's right. Whatever that thing is, he's punching in the face.
Yeah. I love those slow motion scenes. Remember in Wanted where they get hit with the keyboard and the teeth go flying and stuff like that? I always think of that when the punch comes. But anyway, this is what you came to see. This is the crushing blow, and I think that at first look, you might say, "Oh my God, this is just basically a one cost event, and this is just letting me do a second attack." But a quicker thought, a quicker look at the card pool, and this is only, again, from what we have seen available today. This is only off the cuff. We have not seen the rest of what the Hulk can do to buff his own attack ability. So there you have it. Corey, any other final thoughts around that, man?
No, I mean, it looks solid. And as was mentioned in the chat, as we projected, you're likely to see 2 of these. And if it becomes your bread and butter attack, I mean, being able to get multiple swings with the Hulk is what you want to do anyway, right? So it plays right into his game plan of just being able to put out the damage to plow through all the enemies, all the minions in front of them, and to put pain on the villain so you can kind of escalate the scenario. Sweet, but yeah, it's a cool card. It's one of those that definitely is a lot better once you think about all the tricks and things you can combine it with.
Yeah, so that is, there you go. That's awesome. What we have now is if you listen to the Dexcelsior podcast, they will have an episode going tomorrow. So Dexcelsior is tomorrow with the next Hulk spoiler. iRebel has an article going up. Go check that out on the 14th. The 15th, Critical Encounters podcast special issue will be there. Marvel Champions Monthly. I'm sure everyone's listened to Marvel Champions Monthly. That is out on the 16th. 17th, you have Side Scheme. 18th, the 1-2 Punch is doing an article. The 19th, Card Game Cooperative podcast. The 20th, No Responsibility. And I mean, asterisk, Barry Bonds asterisk. These dates are all subject to change. So
it's just the early things that we have.
Yeah, and there are still some more that haven't kind of communicated their release dates inside the community space. So from that perspective, this next few days, you guys should have hopefully a good understanding of what the Hulk has coming for itself. Go check out all those. Once that comes back, we'll probably give our thoughts. If you're new here, hopefully you can like this up.
Thanks for stopping by and checking it out.
Give your, before all these spoilers come out, give your kind of first takes on some of this stuff down in the comments below. We read, we check out, we engage everything that's there. Subscribe so you know when Boggs and Caleb are going to jump on this channel. We do know that they like to pop up randomly. Sometimes we don't get that much advanced warning before they want to make a random a wild Boggs appearance comes out of left field. But from that perspective, we really appreciate you guys joining us. Thank you again for Evan at FFG for hooking us up with Hulk card 1 of 15. Crushing blow.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the show.
As Jay-Z once said, what more can I say? Are you not entertained? Some of you probably won't be.
Hello. Well, thanks for checking it out, guys.
Really appreciate you guys. Thanks for jumping on for this quick and dirty bad publicity. All the best, and we'll catch you guys all later. Happy gaming. Stay safe. Wash your hands.